So the Scav case in Escape from Tarkov is another one of those highly debated topics in the game that nobody can ever seem to agree on. Some people will tell you that it's totally worth investing in, and others will tell you it's a complete waste of money. Oftentimes I'll see people talking about how they pulled insane loot out of the Scav case, such as colored keycards, LEDXs, and high value keys, but how realistic is it to be getting items like that? So today I'll be running the 2.5k Scav case 10 times so you guys don't have to. Alright, so before we get into the runs and break down all of the numbers and show you guys the spreadsheet, I want to explain the Scav case very quickly to anyone who might be a new player. So the Scav case is a hideout component where Scavs will bring you loot as long as you pay the fee. And to build the Scav case, you must have Intel Center level 2 and all of the required items, which are the following: 1 golden rooster, a Scav junk box, 3 bottles of moonshine, 4 roller watches, 8 gold chains, 6 gold skull rings, and 3 bronze lions. At the time of this recording, constructing the Scav case will cost you roughly 3.1 million rubles. So the question is the Scav case worth building? And if you do build it, which runs should you be doing? This will be a multi-part series where I do 10 runs on each option of the Scav case to show you guys which one might be the best for you. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so jumping right into this one on the 2.5k Scav case, right off the bat, I think you guys will notice that the colors are changed up a bit. A lot of you guys said that in the last video, I kind of flashbanged you with all the white on the screen. So I changed up the colors here. We're not going to be using the notepad to cover up numbers and stuff. I just put it all right here for you guys to look at and just kind of read as you go, but we're still going to go through it the same way that we did last time. But before we start getting into the numbers a little bit, I just want to preface this by saying that honestly, so far into this little experiment, I have to say that this little 2500 Scav case has been the most profitable, obviously. So you're not going to be pulling huge items out of it constantly. You're really just going to kind of get junk and stuff that you can sell. I don't think I ended up keeping anything out of these cases. Like I said, it was just kind of junk stuff. But if you'll notice over here on the profit and loss, we didn't take a single loss on anything. And that's probably because the cost of the case is so cheap. But the good thing about it is you might be looking at this saying, oh, well, these aren't, you know, crazy amount of numbers of profit or anything like that. You might be saying to yourself, oh, well, I'm not going to run that one if I'm just going to make, you know, 7k on this run, 8k on this run, 7k down here. But if you look, we have some pretty big ones in here: 29, 26, 27, 26. And the thing you have to realize about the 2500 Scav case is it only takes 34 minutes to run. Like I mentioned before in the last video, there's a lot of things that affect the Scav case timer and how long it takes for you guys to run each one. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in the last video a couple of things that affect it, but also one thing that you guys brought to my attention in the comments was that your Scav rep affects the time also. So if you have a really high Scav rep, your times are going to be much shorter. If you're not a good Scav and your Scav rep is horrible, your time is going to be much higher. So I would highly encourage you guys to go out there and be a good Scav, get that rep up, and these Scav case timers will be a lot cheaper. Just a forewarning, nothing crazy, but this is 10 runs on the 2500 Scav case, so let's jump right into it. I don't actually think I'm going to go through these one by one. You guys can read the screen. You can read all the numbers, do the math, whatever you want to do. But one thing I want to point out is pretty much all of these are going to be over 10k. We've got a couple that were really low, and obviously, you know, sometimes you're just going to get just straight junk out of these things and it's not really going to be worth much. But I tried to sell as much as I could on the flea for the most amount of money as possible. But obviously, if the trader is offering more money, I'm going to sell it to them. So keep in mind that all of these numbers is me trying to get the most amount of money possible that I can. Some of you guys suggested that I should be using values of what things are worth to the traders, if that makes sense. So one guy said on the last video that I should have taken, I believe it was the RD, and used the value of what it would cost from the trader. I don't really count that because the goal of this is to see, you know, kind of how much money you can make and what you can pull from it. So looking at this, most everything is going to be over 10k. We had a bunch of runs that were actually pretty profitable. And if you go through this, add everything up, that leaves us with a total amount sold for 198,542 rubles. We spent about 7,900 on the flea market fees, and that leaves us with a total profit of 165,000. 629 rubles. Now I know you might be saying to yourself, that's really not that much money, but keep in mind that these runs only took me 34 minutes. So for 10 runs, it took roughly 5.5 hours. If you want to just round it up to 6, we can do that. So in 6 hours, I made 165,000 rubles. And, you know, that's not bad for just clicking a button and selling a few things here and there, which are things that you already do anyways. And this is kind of just one of those ways that you can add on to the passive income. And at 2,500 rubles, it is extremely low risk and you're not going to risk losing much. I mean, if you lose 2,500 rubles, you know, you get something that's worth like 300. Who cares? You lost 2,200 rubles at the end of the day. The main takeaway that I got from this was the fact that we spent way less time running this than we did the 95K. We made way more money than we did on the 95K. It's kind of just like a consistent little cash flow. You know, with the 95K, you're going to have a higher chance of getting something really good or something that you really want to use or keep. But with the 2,500, it's kind of just like something that you do just to make a little bit of extra money on the side. So, and like I mentioned in the first video, the whole goal of this kind of series is to show newer players or even, you know, veteran players all of the different runs on all of the different tiers of the Scav case, just to kind of give you an idea of what each one offers and which one is best for you. So out of the two that we've done so far, the 95K and this one, I would say the 95K is more for someone who is looking to risk and try to get those rare items, those expensive items. You know, maybe you're trying to pull really good guns out that you can use in raid, stuff like that. And then the 2,500, as I mentioned before, is just kind of like a slow trickle of profit and a little bit of extra rubles just to add up over time. And, you know, you can do upwards of 20 runs of this a day, depending on how long you play. If you're playing on the weekend for like 8-10 hours, whatever, you could knock out 20 of these runs. And if you're doing scav runs while you're doing these, you're going to be leveling up your scav rep and your timer is just going to go down. So if you're somebody who just wants to bring in a little bit of extra rubles, go for the 2,500 case. If you're looking to risk it, you know, get those big items, get those big guns, I would say go for the 95K. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this new format. Do you like the fact that I just showed everything and kind of let you guys look at it? Didn't spend a lot of time going through all the numbers one by one. I think it's a little bit, you know, better for you guys this way. Obviously, the color change is huge. You guys aren't getting flashbanged on the screen. Hope you guys like that. And if you have any more suggestions, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I am 100% open to suggestions. You know, if there's something that I can improve with these videos and make them better, I'm all for it. So hopefully you guys learned something from watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.